Trump's just tacked on a random lie because, why not? When he was talking about German Chancellor Angela Merkel.
I have great respect for Angela, and I have great respect for the country. My father is German, right? Was German.
Yes. It's true. Frederick Trump was born in a very wonderful place in Germany.
Mike Huckabee is considering a run. Mike Huckabee said the president was raised in Kenya, went to a Muslim school, and he hates America. Despite that, he still seems like a sweet person. So he sounds less like a presidential candidate and more like my aunt. And then, of course, there's Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke. Donald Trump often appears on Fox, which is ironic, because a fox often appears on Donald Trump's head. If you're at the Washington Post table with Trump and you can't finish your entree, don't worry, the fox will eat it. And if I can for a moment talk about the birther issue, when did we get so suspicious about where people were born? A USA Today poll last week said 38% of Americans think the president was definitely born in the US. In the same poll, in the very same poll, only 5% more said Donald Trump was definitely born in the US. Has it reached the point where Americans only think someone was born here if they saw it? I know I was born here, and I know my younger brother was born here. But when it comes to my older brother, I can only take him at his word. Gary Busey said recently that Donald Trump would make a great president. Of course, he said the same thing about an old rusty birdcage he found. Donald Trump owns the Miss USA pageant, which is great for Republicans because it will streamline their search for a vice president. Donald Trump said recently he has a great relationship with the blacks, though unless the blacks are a family of white people, I bet he's mistaken. I like that Trump is filthy rich, but nobody told his accent. His whole life is models and gold leaf and marble columns, but he still sounds like a know-it-all down at the OTB. Mr. Trump may not be a good choice for president, but he would definitely make a great press secretary. How much fun would that be? Kim Jong-il is a loser. His latest rally was a flop. I feel bad for Ahmadinejad. He never man wears a windbreaker. He has no class. I, on the other hand, sell my own line of ties. You can find them at Macy's in the flammable section. So it's not a strong field, and who knows if they can beat you in 2012. But I tell you who could definitely beat you, Mr. President. 2008 Barack Obama. You would have loved him. I still think we all remember that inauguration day, the First Lady was there. And may I say, for as beautiful as you looked that day, you look even more beautiful tonight. Now you, on the other hand, Mr. President, have aged a little. What happened to you? When you were sworn in, you looked like the guy from the Old Spice commercials. Now you look like Louis Gossett Sr.
Stephen Colbert focused on a moment that immediately caught everyone's attention. With Germany's chancellor sitting just a few feet away, Donald Trump pointed toward Germany and confidently said that his own father had been born there. It was one of those comments that sounded completely certain in the moment, but it quickly made people question it because the historical record has long said something different. What really stood out wasn't just the mistake itself, it was how confidently he said it, especially while making that claim directly in front of Germany's leader.
Yeah, both my parents were born in EU sectors, okay? I mean, my mother was Scotland, my father was Germany.
My father's from Germany. Both of my parents are from the EU.
I have great respect for Angela, and I have great respect for the country. My father is German, right? Was German. Born in a very wonderful place in Germany.
Trump's just tacked on a random lie because, why not? When he was talking about German Chancellor Angela Merkel.
I have great respect for Angela, and I have great respect for the country. My father is German, right? Was German.
Yes. It's true. Frederick Trump was born in a very wonderful place in Germany, New York City, in 1905. My father was born in a wonderful part of Germany, very West Germany, and...
The documented facts tell a different story. Fred Trump was born in the Bronx, New York, on October 11, 1905, a detail recorded in official records and even mentioned in his New York Times obituary. According to Colbert, this wasn't a simple misunderstanding that had never been addressed. He pointed out that the same claim had already been corrected 4 different times before this latest moment, yet Trump repeated it again while sitting beside Germany's chancellor. Colbert argued that it reflected a mindset where earlier corrections no longer seemed to matter because confidence had taken the place of evidence. Instead of making his usual high-energy entrance, he quietly walked to his desk holding a single sheet of paper. And that unusual opening immediately told the audience this segment would be different. He explained that the document was Fred Trump's birth certificate, paused as the camera zoomed in, and then read the key details aloud. It clearly listed the birthplace as the Bronx, New York, with a birth date of October 11, 1905. Germany wasn't mentioned anywhere on the document. At first the audience laughed at the obvious contradiction, but that laughter gradually turned into something more uncomfortable as the point sank in. Colbert then pulled out another document, this time quoting Trump from a recorded interview where he said his father was German, had been born in Germany, and came from what he described as a wonderful place there. Colbert reminded viewers that the statement had already been corrected, then showed another page referencing a CBS News report where the same claim was corrected again. After that, he pointed to a 2020 Fox News appearance where the identical claim was repeated and corrected once more. By Colbert's count, that made 4 separate corrections across 4 different years, all backed by the same birth certificate, yet the claim surfaced again while Trump was sitting next to Germany's chancellor. Colbert built his argument step by step, saying this was about more than a single factual mistake. He compared it to Trump's past public statements about having one of the greatest memories anyone has ever had, graduating at the top of his class at Wharton, and performing so well on a cognitive test that doctors were amazed. Against those claims, Colbert said the contrast was hard to ignore because the same person had once again misstated something as personal as his own father's birthplace despite repeated corrections. Before wrapping up, Colbert briefly asked viewers to subscribe, then held Fred Trump's birth certificate up to the camera one last time and emphasized that it had always listed the Bronx, New York, as the birthplace. No matter how many times the incorrect version was repeated, the official record never changed. He finished by suggesting that the bigger story wasn't just the repeated mistake itself, but the broader pattern that keeps showing up, leaving viewers to decide whether recognizing those repeated patterns is becoming more important.